What's up, guys? We are back from PAX West after demoing some of Riftbound's latest trial decks and getting our hands on some incredible new promo cards. The folks over at Riot and UVS Games were kind enough to send us home with a pack of trial decks, so let's open it together and talk a little bit about our experience with what's inside. So obviously this is the Riftbound trial pack of 4 decks. The box obviously just as high quality as all of the rest of the cards and the deck boxes that they have inside of it. Again, on the back, Riftbound trial decks, listing all of the rune types here on the outer of the box. And let's go ahead and break into the first deck here. So this is the Riftbound League of Legends trading card game. This is the Yasuo trial deck. This is the Calm and Chaos, I believe they call it. And on the back here we have, it says this is the Yasuo trial deck. Trial decks are the fastest and easiest way to learn to play Riftbound. This ready-to-play deck includes 1 champion legend, a 40-card deck, plus 12 rune cards, and 3 battlefields. This is still sealed, so let's break this open and let's check it out together. All right, so just cracking this open here. Let's get it out of the packaging. Okay, so we have our sample deck here. Very nice and tightly packed. Again, if you haven't already heard, the cards are extremely high quality. This is a 40-card deck, again, with 12 runes and 3 location cards. So getting this open here, we have our deck open. The cards are nice, sturdy, and thick. The high quality cards that really has kind of like Riftbound has set their name on. Yasuo right up front as the legendary, kind of like your commander if you've ever played Magic the Gathering. All right, so let's start with the legend of the deck, Yasuo, the Unforgiven. He has an amazing ability for 2 runes and an exhaust ability. So for 2 runes and an exhaust, you can move a friendly unit to or from your base. And this is great for if you're moving characters from your battlefield to a location. And it combos really well with other cards that also move along with Yasuo. And we'll get into more of his combos as we go along. And so our first location card here, we have Windswept Hillock. Units here have ganking, which means they can move from battlefield to battlefield. This is an essential card to making sure your deck moves extremely quick. They can move from battlefield to battlefield without having to exhaust themselves, which allows you to conquer locations a lot faster than you normally would be able to. And our next battlefield up here is Targon's Peak. When you conquer here, ready 2 runes at the end of your turn. So if you've exhausted a couple of runes during your turn here, you can ready those back up at the end of your turn for a quick reaction card if you have those in your hand as well. And coming up next for the third battlefield, we have Reaver's Row. When you defend here, you may move a friendly unit here to base. So if you do battle here and you decide that you want to take another battlefield later, you can move one back to your base without having to exhaust him for the move. And our first unit of the deck, we have Clockwork Keeper. As you play me, you may pay an additional rune cost, and if you do, draw 1 card. This adds some early game draw power to the deck, and for a 2 cost for 2, it's an early game unit that allows you some draw power. And next up, we have Defy, which is a reaction spell. Reaction spells can be played at any time, even before spells and abilities resolve. And in this case, this card counters a target spell that costs no more than 4 and no more than any color of rune. So in this case, that card would counter a kind of a lower grade early game spell. And I really like this next one. So this is On Guard. This is a 1-drop spell reaction, so it's a really fast card to play, and it gives a friendly unit +1 might this turn, then an additional +1 might this turn if it's the only unit controlling there, for +2 potentially if they're the only unit guarding a battlefield. This is a really nice early game reaction spell to turn the tide if you have an early game battle happening. And next up, we have the 2-cost spell Meditation. This is also a reaction spell that can be played anytime before spells and abilities resolve. And as an additional cost to play this, you may exhaust a friendly unit. If you do, draw 2, otherwise draw 1. And this is another early game draw power card. Again, synergizes with the rest of the kit in the deck and allows you to get a lot of cards in your hand for a lot of options really nice and early in the game. And moving on here, we have the 3-cost unit Wielder of Water. It says, while I'm attacking or defending alone, I have +2 might. So this is a 3 rune cost unit for 4, up to 4 potentially. This is a little on the weaker side, but if you're looking for units just to have on the battlefield, this is a nice early game option. And next up, we have Discipline, which is a spell reaction again, which can be played anytime before spells and abilities resolve. Give a unit +2 might this turn and draw 1. So this is an awesome spell. This gives a unit +2 might if they're in a showdown on a battlefield, and it gives you extra draw power for a potential second reaction if you draw into it and you have the runes available on the board. Discipline's an awesome spell, might, draw power, and at lightning fast speed. I would always be putting this in your deck. Windwall. I think there's only 1 Windwall in the deck as well. This is a 3-cost spell reaction. Again, at lightning fast speed, can be played even before spells and abilities resolve. Counter any spell. That has no cost restriction on it. It means if your opponent plays something that you really don't like, this is the spell that you use in reaction to counter exactly what that does. This again does have a recycle cost of 2, which is kind of heavy for a 3-cost card, but the power that this card has is totally worth it. Next up, we have the staple of the deck, Yasuo, the champion unit himself. It says, when I attack attack, I deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit here. So what that means is when Yasuo goes into a showdown on a battlefield, he's going to do an additional 6 damage equal to his might. So he's going to do a total of 12 damage to whatever he's fighting on that battlefield. And that doesn't mean that he's necessarily, if something dealt like 9 and he dealt 12, he would still go down. But the fact that he swings for 12, he's very glass cannony. It's an awesome card to have in your deck. It synergizes with everything else in the deck and the kit. It has some really nasty combos with another card that we'll get to here in a little bit. Oh yeah, this is a good one because we have Seal. This is Gear. This is Seal of Focus. It's a 0-drop reaction. So this adds an extra calm rune to your resources if you need to use it at the cost of nothing. So it costs nothing, gives you extra runes, and gives you a lot more to play with during the turn. And this is another one of my favorite units. This is a Cemetery Attendant. It says when you play me, return a unit from your trash to your hand. This is basically your standard resurrection spell that you'd see in any other card game, except for it comes in unit form this time. You're going to send the puppers into battlefield and he's going to bring a unit right back to your hand. And this is honestly what I would call another staple card as well. Bringing anything back from the trash to your hand is an awesome card. And next we have Rebuke, which is a spell at normal speed this time. It's a 2 cost. You recycle 2 after you use it as well, so a hefty cost. But it says return a unit at a battlefield to its owner's hand, and that is extremely strong. So if there is a unit on a battlefield that you find way too hefty, for 2 cost only, you can send that right back to your opponent's hand and make them basically restart that turn and clear the way for you to conquer that battlefield as well. Next up, we have the Stealthy Pursuer. It says when a friendly unit moves from my location, I may be moved with it. And that is super strong because even if she is just in the battlefield, she can move with other characters that go with it. And it also synergizes incredibly well with Yasuo's signature move where you tap 2 runes and exhaust Yasuo in order to move from place to place. And that allows the Stealthy Pursuer to go with any other unit that goes with it. And next up, we have the Traveling Merchant. It says when I move, discard 1, then draw 1. This is a 2 cost for 2 might. Gives you some more draw power and allows you to cycle your hand. It's a decent card early game. Something I might play if I don't get exactly what I want in my opening hand. Otherwise, there are some stronger units to play. And next up, we have Kane, the next champion unit who has ganking, which means that he can move from battlefield to battlefield without having to exhaust himself. And his card text says, if I have moved twice this turn, I don't take damage. And that synergizes incredibly well with Yasuo's legendary move for 2 runes and an exhaust, and then move him again with his exhaust, and he doesn't take any damage from that showdown at the battlefield that he moves to the second time. Next up, we have the Maddened Marauder, and this is the only tank unit that is in this deck, and it says, I must be assigned combat damage first. So if this unit is at a battlefield and a showdown is happening, when the opposing player chooses where they want to attack, they have to attack the Maddened Marauder first. And next it says, when you play me, move a unit from a battlefield to its base. And this is a great card for that Stealthy Pursuer because that means that the Stealthy Pursuer and whatever other unit you move can move together. And next up, we have Misfortune, the next champion unit in the deck. And Misfortune says, you may play me to an open battlefield, which means you don't have to start her on your bench. You can play her straight to a battlefield and get her right into the heat of the moment. And she also has an additional ability that says friendly units may be played to open battlefields as well. So if you see the fields are wide open, you can take those and get those conquer points really early on. Get those conquer points, get those hold points, and get a good start to the early game. And next we have the signature spell of Yasuo, Last Breath. And this is an action, not a reaction. It says ready a friendly unit. It deals damage equal to its might to an enemy unit at a battlefield. Last Breath is a staple card that allows for a lot of versatility, a lot of moving, and a lot of options. And I would be making sure you're using this with the 2-tap ability with the legendary Yasuo that you have as your champion on the board. And finally, we have the 12 runes that come in the deck. This is the Calm rune. Again, on that high quality card stock. And then these are the Chaos runes that come in the deck. I really can't get over how high quality these cards are. So yeah, guys, that's basically everything that comes in the trial deck for Yasuo for Riftbound. This is basically the main combo that you're going to be looking for. The Last Breath Yasuo combo really is the staple bread and butter of the deck. We do have PAX Unplugged coming up as well in November here in just a couple short months, where you can pick up some of these exclusive RE promos in the back here that you see. So if you guys have some free time and you're available, head over to PAX Unplugged this year on the East Coast, and I will see you guys in the next trial deck unboxing.